back so we could see our engineers and future prospects to move our world in a different space. So I'm grateful for you to be here. Administration, great for you to be here. I thought I saw him amongst the crowd. There he is, Judge Bowie. How you doing, sir? He's one of their coaches as well. So we want to get this meeting started. Dr. Hannah, can you give us a roll call, please?
Trustee Bowman.
Present.
Trustee Kraft.
Here.
Trustee Davis Smith. President Garrett.
Present.
VP Gross. I am here, and Treasurer Terry.
Present.
Passes 7-0.
All right. I think we have a roll call. And so we're going to have the ROTC here come present colors in a few seconds. All right. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The attorney is not here. Ms. Kellum, I wanted to put that motion on the floor. Can that be done this week during board retreat? Next week. Can we postpone that? Good. Any objections to the board with that postponement of what we talked about? Because I can't talk about it out here because it was talked about in closed session, and I don't want to go to jail as the police sitting here with, specifically with judge sitting right on the front seat. Got two judges in here, federal one in the, you know, hate for them to activate their jobs right now. Okay, thank you. Thank y'all so much for helping me with that. We're going to move to approval of the agenda. Motion on the floor, please.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Gross, supported by Trustee Bowman. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith. Yes. President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
And Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. We're going to move. Your mic is not working? Oh, is it tapped?
Hello? No, it's not working.
Frank, is her volume up on her mic on Bowman's?
What is not working?
Okay, it's not working. We'll get through it in a second. You can borrow Trustee Crafts. He doesn't really use his nowadays. We're going to move down to awards and recognitions. Our favorite part of the meeting. Dr.
Yes.
Leverett, it's yours.
Thank you, President Garrett. Good evening, everyone. At this time, we will have a Glad Where I'm At video and song release, and we are so very excited. This is in recognition of the Kaleo songwriters. Our students have done a fantastic job, and we are very, very excited to share this video and song release with you.
Persevere, grab the wheel and start to steer in the right direction toward the stress and interferes. I hit the brake, I learned my lesson. How could I be way too reckless? Find my way up out the wreckage, now the skies are looking clear. Even if I drag myself through the worst conditions, all I ever do is help myself through these premonitions. I'm the author of my vision, like King Arthur on his mission. But I offer something different, yeah, it's all from my persistence. All from my persistence, I'm the person that's been proving it. Never losing vision, the ability to doing this. Strong it bother me like I'm some sort of enthusiast. Never reach my limit, I'm aware of where my I'ma keep on moving, I'ma keep on marching through the storm. Something that I'm choosing, it's a future that I can't ignore. Mama short on bills and now I'm thankful that the water pours. Force a lot of responsibility, I did a lot of chores. But now I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
I said I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at.
So glad that I'm at where I'm at now. Never been better, but I will be, and that's hands down. Flag on the play, as I'm up, another man down, dragged in the race. Hope I make it out of that town. Glad that I'm black and I stand proud. Weapon formed against minorities, can never back down. Tragedy day, we're selling t-shirts for my dads now. Poverty rates, how will they ever pay us now? Hear my volume through the speakers, its frequency remains for vibrations in the bleachers. Listen to some change, even if we stay the same. Yeah, I know it sounds insane, but that's just one of the features. Hear the silence from the leaders, it's teaching me remains. I am now a newborn teacher, going through the pain. Family knew I had the range. All the times I've been restrained was just part of the procedure. But now I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
I said I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm at.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now. Trying to fight for my life, I can back down. Flying high just the sky, yeah, I'm right now. Feeling great, can't complain, got my all my relationships in the past now. At work, I'm here too, where I'm at now. So I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
I said I'm glad that I'm at where I'm at now.
So glad, so glad, so glad I can never be sad. So glad, so glad, so glad I can never be sad. So glad, so glad, so glad I can never be sad. So glad, so glad, so glad I can never be sad.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
So, comments from the board. Are any of the artists here? No, they're not here? Okay. Comments from the board.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Trustee Bowman.
As always, Pontiac and our youth, we continue to show up and show out and inspire the world. So that was a beautiful piece. And I'm glad that to say that it's from our young ones here. So good job. Great.
All right, thank you. Trustee Kraft.
Yes, it was. The lyrics were well thought through, and the creativity, it just blew me away. To think one of ours could do it, but no, I guess this is what we do here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. Trustee David Smith.
I think they did a really great job as a former musician in the school district. I love their collaboration. They did a great job. I'm so proud of them.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Terry.
I want to say great job. Brings back memories from back in the day, you know, being in the little cafeteria and having our little sessions and stuff. But to go a little extra mile and put a little more effort into it, and the video and the background music and all the support, that takes a lot. It shows the talent that's there, and obviously there's a future there as well if they tend to pursue that. So good work, keep it up, and congratulations.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Hannah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. We have a lot of talent here at our school, and just seeing that video is proof of it. We just had the music concert on last week too, and we got to see the middle schools, we got to see ITA, and I think we just got to continue to promote and highlight this talent, and so that more kids, especially when it comes to music, a lot of kids love the rap, or everybody is a rapper, so we just need to give them more opportunities to shine like that. So great job.
Okay. Thank you. Vice President, sir.
All set. Good job. Everybody said.
Okay. I got this next group that we have. Congratulations on the project. We today it kind of, that's a confirmation, because today we took a walk through the studio and to figure out how can we get our kids to be a little bit more creative, give them the best tools that they can do that with, and put them in position to win. And so a lot of this next group that we're going to introduce, they do multiple things. They're not just in robotics. I see them in various places doing various things. So we have to bring as much information and expose them to everything, and then let them make the choice on where they want to go. And the only way that we can do that is exposing them. And exposure means you have to provide everything to them and not force them to do things that they don't necessarily want to do, but help guide them in the things that they do want to do that's productive. And it's our responsibility to do that. And that was confirmation for me that we're on the right track. So thank administration and thank everybody who has anything to do with that particular project. But this next group, year after year after year after year, shows up and shows out. And a lot of times when this wasn't when robotics and STEM and STEAM and robotics competitions wasn't talked about, we had banners through the hallway like we was the LA Lakers. Mm-hmm. And so I just remember just championships after championships. And just even when the championships didn't come, the determination that they had working through the summer and then now passing it on to the middle school. So I'm excited about this group. We want a recognition of the robotics state championship robotics team here for Pontiac Phoenix.
Thank you, President Garrett, trustees, our Pontiac School District staff, our community, and our students. This evening, we are pleased to represent our robotics state champions. And I will read the first certificate as follows. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Michael Johnson and the entire Pontiac School District Wings of Fire in recognition of their amazing performances in the first robotics competition this year. The team has continuously impressed this season, becoming state champions and making it all the way to Worlds again. Keep up the great work given this 20th day of May 2024 in Pontiac, Michigan. Signed, Dr. Leverett and Board President Gil Garrett. Michael Johnson, please come forward.
All right, Mike. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, that's little man.
Raymond Gutierrez. Symphony Guy.
That sounds.
Isabella Larkins. Dylan McKnight.
Mike.
Dylan.
What's up, man? Looking like your dad.
Luis Danny Magana Cespedes. Jocelyn Martinez. Santiago Husuelo. Santiago. Amarion Rippey. Brenda Sylvia Salcedo. David Tostada. Eduardo Tostado. Cheyenne Vu. Lanaya Yabara. Gabrielle Alex Orza. Lamberto Asuna. Oh, there he is. Hi, Alberto. Donovan Alcantara Ruiz.
Kills your name, didn't he?
London Brock. Alex Alvarado. Bryce Brown. You're welcome. Jenny Caballero Camacho. Kristen Santiago Castro. Omar Campos Ruiz. Congratulations, Omar. Alex Chang. Ethan Chang. Oh, there's Ethan. Jasmine Dutcher. Congratulations. Nally Gonzalez. Alexander Escobar Rivera. Congratulations. Nancy Gonzalez. Congratulations. Shelly Martinez. Karina Montero. Congratulations. Kimberly Mendoza. Carla Montero Gomez. Congratulations. Lisbeth Montoya. Sina Muya. Congratulations. Diego Ogluin. Litzy Ojeda. Yara Ortiz. Nia Robinson. Congratulations, Nia. Jeremiah Gustafson. Congratulations. Vera Gonzalez. Let's give our students another big round of applause. We are so very proud of them. But our students know, yes, excellent. And of course, our students could not do it without the wonderful staff that makes all this happen. This certificate of distinction is to proudly present it to Ann Natoski and the entire Pontiac School District's Wings of Fire team in recognition of their amazing performances in the first robotics competitions this year. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Natoski. Chris Tremaine. Greg Spencer. Jeremy Bowie. Justin Hawk. Ashley Hibdal. Good try, Ashley. Keon Jackson. Michael Motsney. Thank you. Joshua Murphy. Mark Nicholas. Ben Slade. David Slade. Sam Slade.
That's that chief team.
Sue Slade. Congratulations, everyone. Great win. Bring home the championship.
All right, comments from the board. We'll start with Trustee Davis Smith.
Congratulations, you guys, on another win. I'm so very proud of you to make it this far. Such a win. Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Bowman.
Congratulations, and thank you for showing the world continuously that Pontiac is more than just skilled athletically. Like, we have the minds behind this. So good job to all of you. Congratulations. Thank you for being a great representation of Pontiac.
Awesome. Trustee Kraft.
Congratulations, I'd like to say that myself also. And hey, you guys keep making us proud. And this is my second year of this, and I see some of the repeat offenders that's here and everything. I also see some new faces. And, you know, hey, keep it going and kind of reach back to the young. Talk to the young that's coming up behind you and stuff so we can keep this going, okay?
All right. Trustee.
Oh, and also, shirts, we welcome them because we want to represent as well. So, you know, give us our gear so that we can represent y'all when we out here. So
Sure.
whoever needs to make that happen, we want our shirts.
know that's
Thank
right.
you.
I know that's right.
Trustee Terry.
Congratulations again. Another state championship. You guys should be proud of yourselves. A lot of schools don't do this 2 times in a year. It's like winning the NBA championships. You guys got a good squad. You got some good leaders. So continue to strive, and I want to wish you the best at nationals. Go on and get that first place again. Well, I'm going to claim it. I'm going to put it out there in existence. I'll put it out there in existence. This year, let's go on and get the first place and bring home that title. Can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah. All right. So let's do that. Congratulations and keep it up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Dr. Treasurer Hannah.
Congratulations to the whole team, everybody that makes up this great robotics team. I will say it's good to put faces behind the emails. We see the emails with how good you're doing, the reports that say where you are. So I'm just happy now to actually see the faces behind all of this, the accolades. So congratulations.
Vice President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Listen, we want y'all to keep going because we love doing this. Come on back next year. Okay? And to the parents, where's the Slade family? Raise your hand. Man, let me tell you. The Slades and I have been together since when? The 90s? Yeah. We've been together since the 90s. We presented an award to them way back when I was on the board, way back when. And they're still here. So whenever I see the Slade family, I know we're winning. And then we got the judge in here. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Because listen, as consistent as you are, it reflects in these children and what they do. So I want to personally thank all of you, and I want to thank the parents. Brother Johnson, oh my goodness. And every time I see your son, I keep saying, man, you look like your dad. And, but I thank all of you, and we appreciate you. Thank you. And this is it. This is a team. Yeah. Look at these faces. Yes. One last question. What school district?
Pontiac.
Y'all got to say it louder down. What school district? Pontiac. Whoop, there it is.
Oh my goodness. So I think all my colleagues have pretty much said it all. To the administration, staff, students, continue the hard work. Keep pressing. Don't forget about these moments. Enjoy them. So I won't get too emotional.
You okay?
Just look at it. Like, we just look at it. Like, just take this moment in. Just look at them. Our future is good. It is good. And whoever dares to try to get you to see something different is a lie. Because 11 o'clock I had a meeting, Judge, and I wanted them to meet me when they're doing their exchange, going over to their respective places that they're doing their work, their CTE work over at the high school, right? Because I wanted to see how they got on the bus and who drove and who just kind of. So Mike comes out with his laptop. He's already ready, working. They see me with Sadie. We make eye contact, and because I know him, I know who he is. I'm like, I can't hide at this point, right? And you should see how they carried on about the business. Now, I'm not saying be surprised by that. I'm just saying that we need to show more of this outside of this room, that people clearly understand we are the best option. You have many options, but look at just all these men and women in this room that can deliver, and you put them to task. We know you do. You don't stay good without challenges. You don't be great without difficulties. And you for sure don't be champion after champion after champion without struggle after struggle after struggle. It comes hand in hand, and they're doing it even before they walk across the stage. And so parents, thank you for trusting us. And thank you for being parents to those who need parents, who are there when parents are at working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. They can't make all the competitions. So thank you guys for being able to be there for all of them. And students, just thank you for just representing who you are. So Judge, you didn't have to, Judge, you were here. You were part of this. Then you left, then you volunteered. Slade, y'all been here I got here in 98, y'all been here, you know what I mean? So we have it. Judge Master, your dream of what you wanted us to become, we are. And so thank you for allowing us to stand on your shoulders and continue the work. And I'm glad you're here to see your seeds now have blossomed. So thank you. Thank you all. He's from Michigan State. He always bossing me around. So we're going to Mike, if you can move down a little bit so we won't move. Administration, if y'all can come in somewhere. Parents, if you can kind of fill in a little bit. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, and they're going to take a picture from right here. We're going to sit because we ain't going to be able to move. But parents, if you can come, and administration, if you can come and just kind of fill in with the students, and then we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. At 7:05, we'll be back. Okay?
Where would you like to?
When I say I love them banners, I love these banners. Have a seat. Have a seat. No, I want the parents. Come over. Just say, come this way. Come over this way. Come on. Okay. I'm not trying to drop this, so can somebody grab the tissue? I got you. Told you, been on tape. Good move. Ma'am, I told you. You just
See,
Mitch over here acting like an angel. Mitch over here praying. Mitch over here praying the whole time. You don't see me like that. Mitch over here. See me like this.
Yes, sir. It's a little short, little. The ones that hit things.
Right, that'd be nice.
Okay, welcome back for those who are in the audience, those who are at home. We had to make sure that the kids, the children get back to their regular working schedule because they've probably been up since about 6 a.m., right? So thank you again at home. Please like, share, and subscribe. You do an awesome job with making sure that people know about what's going on in the Pontiac School District. Thank you to the faithful followers. But please get this information out. Get this one particular. This was special about our students and how they operate and the legacy that they're trying to leave amongst with the elementary school and middle school. So I just really appreciate you doing that. If you like, share, and subscribe again to the Pontiac School District. We are now going to the summer school 2024 presentation. Oh, I'm sorry. Recognition of elected officials. Any elected officials? Judge just left.
Judges
here? Judge, I know he's here, but
I'm sorry.
We recognized him during the previous.
Yes.
I don't know what's going on with this dude today, but if he talk over me one more time.
Teamwork, man. Teamwork.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, he think I won't say it live. You know what I'm saying? If he talk over me one more, I don't care because he went to Michigan State. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. You know what I mean? Like this is just getting beside himself. Like he's just nervous about everything today.
Well, you know, something happened today, so I'm very nervous.
Dr. Davison, how you doing? Okay, I'm switching my focus right now because I'm being harassed as we speak, so we're not going to do that. Need a motion on the floor to. Oh, I'm sorry. Trustees, how y'all doing? Okay, good. We're going to move down to recognition. No, I'm sorry, consent agenda. We need a motion on the floor to approve, please. So moved by Trustee Davis. So moved by Trustee Davis Smith, supported by Trustee Bowman. He is about to get put out. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustee Davis Smith. Yes. President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
And Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
I found out what it is. Dr. D, we're going to make sure he don't eat another piece of candy before me. I knew exactly what it was. All right, now information for superintendent. We're super excited about this. I love the presentation, so I'm super excited to hear what we're going to do about summer school. Dr. Leverett, the meeting's yours.
Thank you, President Garrett. We are very excited to present to you our plan for summer school. So we know that it's so very important that those essentials that they've learned during the school year, they continue. And that is just what we will share with you, some of the plans that we have for summer school. And with that being said, I'll turn it over to Dr. Devison. Dr. Devison, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening to the board, to the community. You could change the slide, thank you. Okay, so this is the committee. This is our team of curriculum and instruction. Can you all hear me? Curriculum and instruction team, of course, consists of Jennifer Dean, who is over data and assessment. We also have Ms. Yvette, who is over MTSS coordinator. We have Dr. Alicia over bilingual and ESL education. Dr. Jameson over our director of special services and student equity. And then Felicia Jeter, literacy and social studies. We also have Stacy Jackson over math and science. Henry Jackson over Project Excel, Mr. Brian Sherman, our CTE supervisor, and Melanie Hayes is our technology integration specialist. Next slide, please. So the location for summer school for preschool is going to be at Whitman. Elementary will be at Whitman. Our middle school and high school will be at the middle school. And then we also have Camp Invention, which is a week before, which will also be at Whitman. Dr. Leverett, if you could just scoot over just a little, I can't even see. And then Kennedy program is going to be at Kennedy. We're excited this year. We're going to have the Black Boy College Institute with Oakland Schools, where we're going to have some young men participate in a reading program. And this is through Dr. Tatum's program at Oakland Schools. Next slide, please. The goals, I'm sorry.
Oh. The goal numbers for summer school program, one preschool, we're going to be doing 30 students, kindergarten through fifth grade, 150 students, middle school, 102, our high school, we're aiming for 100 students. Again, I spoke about the Black Boy College program, that's going to be 10 students, Camp Invention is going to be 75 students, and then Kennedy School is going to be approximately 93 students. And then, of course, with our special education program, we offer free and appropriate public education. We have the summer compensatory services, which is going to focus around the speech program. The services provided per the student IEP and the corrective action plan. Special education, approximately 384 students will be participating, and again, this is going to be through the communication, literacy, academic, motor, and social-emotional skills. Next slide, please. Like I said before, we're excited about the Black Boys College Summer Literacy Program through Oakland Schools. We have a teacher selected. We have 10 students. This is for incoming 3rd through 5th grade students. And they're going to be engaging in social studies, natural sciences, increasing their daily reading volume and stamina. They're going to build textual lineages, create outlets and environment to showcase their knowledge through writing, collaborate with their peers. And I'm excited about this program because all of the administrators for the City of Pontiac School District, we went to Oakland Schools and we learned a great deal about this program. And Dr. Tatum, he increased scores with students over to 2 and 3 grade levels after participating in this summer program. So we're excited to be able to have this program here in Pontiac. Next slide. So what we did was we gave you the focus for summer school for math and ELA. And as you see, for kindergarten, they're going to focus on addition, putting together and adding, understanding subtraction. And they're going to be working with numbers 11 through 19, that's kindergarten. For first grade, they're going to be representing and solving problems involving addition and subtraction. Second grade, they're going to be using place value and again, adding and subtracting. Third grade will be solving problems by way of multiplication and division and using properties with relationship between multiplication and division. Next slide, please. Fourth grade, they're going to extend their understanding of fraction equivalence and ordering. Fifth grade will be doing multiple digit whole number with decimals to the 100th place. Sixth grade will be understanding ratios. Seventh grade will be understanding properties of our operation. And eighth grade will analyze and solve linear equations. Next slide, please. So the training will be provided by our own Stacy Jackson, who will be providing SAVIS, Envision, Summer Impact, Agile Mind, Credit Recovery information. So these are the training that the students will receive, and also TCM Summer Scholars Mathematics. Next slide, please. So for ELA, for kindergarten, they're going to do letter identification and sound identification and writing. First grade is going to be answering questions about text, phonics skills, and writing to answer questions. That's first through third grade. Fourth grade is going to use text evidence to make inferencing. Fifth grade also will be using inferencing and supporting comprehension, draw evidence from the text for purpose for research. And then sixth and eighth grade will do just the same in addition to multiple print and digital sources. Next slide, please. So the literacy training will be rhythm and read for kindergarten, pre-K, and kindergarten through 8th grade is going to be literacy, TCM, summer school scholar language. And again, the Boys College Summer Literacy Institute, the teacher will be participating in the professional development with Wayne Risa on the 17th and 18th of June. Grades 6 through 8 will receive English, wit and wisdom training, and 6th grade, 9th through 12th, will be receiving My Perspective. Next slide, please. So the ESL department is going to focus on the level 1 students, and it's going to be intensive English language support. We're going to be doing continuous support from what they would have received during the regular school year, just enhancing that. And again, like I said, we're going to target these students that are level 1. Next slide, please. Pontiac High School will be doing credit recovery. And with the credit recovery, they're going to be working with the staff. Summer school will give students the opportunity to continue their work to increase their credits towards graduation, with the hopes that we will increase our graduation rate as well. Next slide. So Project Excel has been around. This year we'll be adding it to the middle school. So that's a positive, with the hopes to being able to add it to the high school. So this summer, we're going to be doing August 1st through the 11th, so that's extended. They're going to go during the summer school timeframes and extend outside of that. And they're going to have, can you go back, please? Okay, marvelous. So we're having the enrichment. They'll have enrichment, and this way they'll have funds from 21st Century and ESSER. And then they are going to have field trips on campus and off campus. And again, they're going to have the vendors with the ELA and also the math. Next slide, please.
We had it in our package.
Wonderful. So you see where we have the summer school support for those students who are not in the building. We are ordering backpacks for those students so that those students can experience some education over the summer, even if they do not physically come to the school. Next slide, please. Conclusion of the slides. Thank you so much. Are there any questions? Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got questions. Hold on. Don't worry. Don't. Hold on. All right. You must have went to Michigan State, too. Okay. Y'all are aggressive today. Ms. Bowman.
With the summer school, I know we have a lot of academics work, but are we doing anything around with the ACES program, or anything continue with the mindfulness or well-being, or just anything along that line, or is this just pure academics through the summer?
So it's going to be the academics, and then we'll have Project Excel with the enrichment. This summer, we will not utilize ACES. Not that that won't come back, but right now we are not using ACES. And we will have MTSS, and we'll be able to have some social emotional portions in that summer school piece.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Trustee Terry, did you? No? Okay. Yes.
I love the fact that we have summer support for our students from grades kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade. So is it voluntarily? Do the parents get to volunteer whether they want their students to participate, or are we identifying specific students or encouraging certain students to participate in summer school?
We're doing both, so it's open for everyone, and we are taking recommendations as well and encouraging those who need those recommendations as well.
Okay.
So it's open, but with recommendations as well.
Okay. One more question? The other question, I know we mentioned credit recovery was an option for our students that needed to graduate, and I'm not sure if it had been shared, but how many students do we have graduating on Thursday?
I believe it's 167 seniors that we have,
Okay.
approximately.
And the other question, do we have an idea how many of them will probably need credit recovery to graduate?
So again, we have the 100 students that could enroll for summer school, so they could be doing credit recovery, or they could be taking classes that they need to make up.
Okay.
Trustee Terry.
In regards to I know we got estimated numbers right now. I hope you can, solidify those as you move forward. My question is, are we using a tracking system in regards to how effective this is for our students, the ones that do participate? and maybe seeing how they perform also in that following school year?
So I personally do not know if that is the case, but I'm sure, Stacy, do you know if we've been tracking the data?
No, I know we capture the data from summer. I don't necessarily know if we've been tracking it to see how students perform.
So at the end of the summer, I do know that there was a report that gave results from the beginning of the summer to the end of the summer. So based on your question, we'll do a better job with making sure that we track that across time.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Trustee Gross.
Okay, and he asked one of the questions about a concrete number for kids, because I think it's extremely important if we're transporting them, they gotta have a concrete number to be able to implement transportation on where the kids are gonna, who's gonna be picked up and where they're going.
We're ready for
Because
transportation.
first student system is difficult when it comes to,
So as they enroll, we've been sending those numbers over.
oh, you have to give me the details, I just wanna make,
okay.
no, I don't wanna know the details. You got that, but I wanna make
Yes.
sure that, because we are we utilizing transportation, are we transporting?
Yes, we are.
Okay, that's all I want to make sure that information is given. Yo, I don't go into detail. We're good. Just want to make sure we're all. Thank you.
You sure?
Y'all answer my question. You utilize-
So I can't answer questions from the audience because this is, but if you had a question that the superintendent got a hold to, then I can ask the question. Because the superintendent is actually included in the meeting. So she's sitting right next to you. I don't see why you couldn't. Okay. Trustee Terry. Go ahead. You got a second question. Go ahead, Dr. Thompson.
In regards to the BBC SLI, I noticed it was only like 10.
Yes.
Are those students gonna be, I guess, lottery picked, or are they hand selected, or how do they go about picking those particular kids out?
So we picked those students based on interest. We did ask the teachers. We wanted to make sure that, number one, the parents were going to be involved. Number two, that the student would be willing. We didn't want someone that would not want to be there. And so that's how we selected. And we selected 2 from every elementary school.
Okay.
And we do have some people on the waiting list just in case someone doesn't sign up.
Okay. And do you foresee this particular, I guess you want to say, program being a part going into the future, or is this like a trial, or we just evaluate and see how this goes?
This is something that Oakland Schools offers. I know that they offered it last year. We did not participate, but we did have students that participated. Ms. Jeter, do you know if it's ongoing, or is this?
This year is a trial.
So she indicated that this is a trial and that we're considering it ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Okay. So summer school. So we're in an interim basis, and this is kind of like, it's not the first time we've done summer school. It's the first time we've probably done summer school this way. So kudos to kind of helping to redefine what you want summer school to look like, but I don't want you to lose, and board, feel free to jump into this conversation. We don't want you to lose the momentum that you gained from summer school, period. Because a lot of times they wait to have the summer school numbers come in, then we're starting regular school, and then they want to give a report, and we always get that report like around November, December time for summer school, but we've already started the first semester of the other. You understand what I'm saying? So is it something that we could do, or is there something that we need to do, or you need from us to manage that, where that you can have the information that's needed after summer school, right? Or the time, or, I'm not sure what that is, but what we don't want is to be talking about summer school in the first semester of 2025, 2024, if that makes sense. So is it anything that we need to do to help you capture what you need to capture? Because we do want it to continuously to be ongoing. If you don't get the numbers that you're looking for, right, because you can't force people to go. So if you're not getting the numbers that you're looking for, then how do we get to the number that you're looking for? Even if it's after some, we need to have that conversation. Because this is not, let's just say, we want to put ourselves in a place to be a little bit more, as it's consistent, as it's all moving together. The board has not, we need to do a better job, the board, of asking, that's why I'm asking publicly, like, what do you need to have that continuous motion going into the next semester, going into the next school year? Because that's a heavy lift that you guys are about to do. The Project Excel pieces, they're typically, this is going to be new because some of that middle school money just came in, and we like hopefully to get to the high school space. But what programs that's working that he's bringing back in the enrichment space? And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be, there has to be a mental health component because we want to be a trauma-informed district. We all have agreed upon that. We all agree that ACES will be the machine to get us to where we need to be. But you don't have all the students in middle school to properly train all of them in that space. But you have a mental health space. So will honors, health, all those other components that we use throughout the school year, what does that look like in the summer, but yet keep getting them ready for the fall? Is that something that you thought about? Is that something that we need to do? Have you thought about what we need to do? What is it that we need to do to make sure that all of that is happening? Don't all speak at once, because I know it's something, and I don't want to wait till. If Ms. Jackson, Ms. Cheetah, if you can join Ms. Davison up here, because the people at home needs to.
Well, I would just say that to the results of the summer school information, we should surely be able to get that information in August. Would that be an agreement, or August, September, early on?
Okay.
I do know that we have started some of the ACES training at the middle school already, so being able to bring that in the summer, we are definitely moving toward the trauma trained district, so we're moving towards that. So it will eventually be at the summer school programming.
Yeah.
So we have talked about, in some kind of way, re-energizing summer school. We know that we always don't get the students to attend, especially the ones we need to attend. That's part of the reason why it's been opened up, is because we had designated certain spots for students, and then those students did not necessarily enroll, even with sharing the information with families. So we've opened it up, but we do know that students are participating in lots of programs around the city camps. And so we've talked as a team about how we might redesign summer school to encourage students to want to come. So it doesn't feel so much like school. When we take a look at the time that we actually have them, we have them for just a short amount of time, for 15 days, and realistically, we want them to want to come so that they will come consistently. It's 4 days a week, half a day. That's the academic part. And so we really, as a team, have been discussing how we might change that to encourage students to participate in programs like they do around the city and at the universities.
Okay. Can we have during the board retreat, can this be a conversation? I know we put it on there, but a conversation of how we may reach out to those other entities that's doing what we want them to do, but then also, if there's a financial component to making this viable, making it real, then we need to know that too. Like, it costs, education costs, we know that, right? But we've been misled, all of us, not just the board or you've been misled. We've been misled in thinking in a deficit mindset that we don't have certain funds because there's certain things that you may not have seen. This budget cycle, you'll see what's available to you, right? Like, we're going to be very open about what's available to you. And so that has not always been. So we know that. So in this board retreat, we at least want to have a conversation of, okay, if you, not a magic wand, not anything, but like build a real program. Like, we know it's going to, our parents, some just going to drop them off because they just dropping them off. Some not going to even pay attention to it. And then the whole credit recovery piece, we just got students, and just be honest, that I know what I need to do when I need to do it because it's credit recovery, right? So I can graduate.
Yep, and I know things that we kind of talked about is
Yeah.
making summer school more of a project-based model.
Okay.
And really involving the technology more, having
Okay.
kids come and not even really know they're learning. They're very attracted to the camps, things about AI, forensics, things like that. So just thinking about how we might infuse our standards in
Okay.
something that is more inviting and fun.
So is it possible to, I know we always put a limit on summer school, like we'll always say, like it's a 2-week, 3-week program, but you extended the Project Excel space, right?
Yes.
Is it because we're using federal dollars we can't keep it open longer? Or is it just something that we just nobody's ever thought about it and we just kind of poked around it, thinking about it? Like, what's for somebody to want to do a project, right? Like, let's just say the Kaleo piece, and say they want to drop an album in the summer. That's going to be more than 4 weeks. You had a studio going and, but they're learning some things as they're dropping this album, right? But we're keeping it open. So the board have had the conversation about saying, hey, when WHRC is done, it's open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., right? And we know after, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it was told to us that after the federal dollars are being used, then we have to go into other dollars to help with that. Those are the kind of conversations that we need to have or want to have, or if you've been having them, are there some additional things that you want to do that you need approval from us to do to make this how we do what we do? Because we don't want you to copy nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, it's different, and we know it's different. We need to have these open dialogue, community conversations, not just at town halls or when something happens. How do we get our, and we know the parents, the kids, but is it something as the professionals? That's what we're asking you. What is it that we could do? And if we done everything, we good. If I ain't got to ask Gross for no more money, and I ain't got to talk to Big Terry for none, I'm good. But if I do, and there are programs we got to do behind it, I want to know it.
So I'm not really sure about the funding as far as going beyond the 4 weeks that we do. I know in the past, years ago, when I taught summer school, it seemed to go longer than that. I don't know if we would have the interest for longer than that, and I don't know if we would have the staffing that would stay longer than that. Because we really do depend on our teachers to work an extended year, and then keep taking it into 6 weeks or more, unless we're relying on an outside company and teachers are not available and thinking about a different structure. I'm not sure how that would work.
Is that an option?
Yeah.
Is that an option? No.
I don't know how the funding works. I think there'll be something.
Okay, you got unlimited funding. Is that an option?
Unlimited?
If you got unlimited funding, if you have the funding, is that an option? Because what I don't want to have a conversation based upon, we don't know about the funding. No, because we have it. Like, we have this ESSER dollars. We have things that we need to spend. And being realistic from how we were told, from the discussion we just had in Finance Committee, there's some things that we could do. It's just people didn't know certain things. Like, every area wasn't aware of what their particular budget or what that particular thing is. And so we're in the business of educating kids. Our kids, you seen these 50 kids around here? Some of these got 2 or 3 things that they want to do, right? I'm not basing this, I'm not downrating no other district or how they do what they do, right, at all. I'm just saying what is convenient for us. Like, what can be done for us? And since this is your particular area, that's why I decided to ask y'all today.
So one of the things that I like to speak more globally into is about the experience that we all had last summer, including myself, with Dr. Tatum, who's known around the world for his work with African American males and extensive strategies for reading and writing. So while we're taking those 10 boys and giving them this great experience, ideally, we would want that to touch every male student in Pontiac School District as one example, to stretch that across, because of the high level of engagement that these 10 students are going to experience. They are going to be changed after this intensive reading and writing camp that they're going to be engaged in this summer is just one example of something that I wish that we could really dig into and grab a hold of.
Because it's, okay, go ahead and answer the question.
I was going to say, if money is not an option, I can spend it.
I mean, we can, that's what I'm saying, we can all spend it.
Spending money.
But I'm like,
yeah,
I don't think that we've spent it in this space.
So
And this is a very
there are
strategic
programs
space.
that I have been interested in doing with students, especially like around music and incorporated music and literature and things like that. So I would definitely love to have that program for the high school, especially after seeing videos like that. I know that it's interested in attending the concert. I know that there's students that are musically inclined that would be interested in having that. So I could definitely look into those programs.
Yeah, I need you to look into them programs. Yeah. Any other programs? I'm sure it's more than that, just one.
We're looking at engineering programs, we're looking at DAPSEP, we're looking at a lot of different things, having a STEM fair.
Okay. STEM or STEAM?
STEAM.
STEAM, okay. No, I don't have a choice between the two. I'm just,
Incorporate the arts thing.
yeah, okay. And reason being is, if you challenge them, they're gonna come. If we make it fun and interesting. In this interim state, you did not have, in all fairness, the planning that it would take to really put together what we're asking. That's why we're saying that to continue this conversation, in all fairness, is at least allowing the public to know that we're thinking past where we're at. We're not going to be in this state forever, but then also we still have to educate our kids to be better than average. And we got state champions in robotics in middle school. That middle school team is just as tough as that high school team is. So I just want us to stay high on that note. So thanks for the presentation. I'm interested in hearing about, was it Dr. Tatum? A little bit. When I looked it up when we was going through like 10 boys, what you gonna do with 10, just 10, you know what I mean? So it is a cost for education and for good programs, but we can find out how we can get there, right? So appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay. Right now we got summer school materials and services, spending the money. Dr. Leverett.
Thank you, President Garrett. That was a wonderful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was there a question, I know you stepped out for a second. Was there a question that you needed to ask me?
Oh, yes.
That was possible. Could you answer that question?
Okay.
Was it now you wanted to ask it now? No?
I can, yeah.
You can?
It was an interest in helping to participate with the 10 students that will be in the camp this summer with Dr. Tatum.
Oh. Well, we always like hands on deck now. We always like some volunteers.
Yes, I'll follow up on that.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's good Omega Man over there.
Oh, man, here we go. I knew it was coming. You can't choose your brothers. Okay. Dr. Leverett.
Yes, thank you. This is for discussion and action. We need the summer school materials. Thank you so much. Pontiac School District Administration is looking to purchase materials and services for our 2024 summer school program. As you just heard about the teacher-created materials, looking for $593.25 for teacher-created materials, pre-K summer school take-home materials. Number two, $44,985.38 for teacher-created materials. That's the summer elementary math and language arts classroom materials, and then $375, for Agile Minds. That's the summer high school math, PD coaching and materials. And then our $43,761 for Savage summer middle school math, PD coaching and materials. That would be ESSER 3 funds. The recommendation, it is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the 4 approved above purchases in an amount not to exceed $318,714 $714.63, I'm sorry.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board? Trustee Terry.
And I know I probably asked this one last year as well. Knowing that we don't have a solid student count yet, what are we basing these numbers off of? Are we basing them off the numbers from last year, our enrollment from last year, and adding 50, or I guess how do we get to these numbers?
I believe that's what we did, trustee, but I'll have defer to curriculum and instruction, but we did the same thing last year, and even if students do not attend summer school, every student will take home the take-home materials to answer that question, and then the other materials, I think they're planning for the number of teachers that we had in summer school from last year versus an anticipated enrollment for summer school for this year.
Yes, so we have,
Only reason why I'm asking y'all to grab the mic is because this one is live, and so they won't be able to. So I don't know if Mr. Frank or Anthony, if you can help them out, kind of meet her halfway, or to grab the mic, I appreciate it. Because they'll be in them comments. Tough, too. Thank you.
I was just confirming that we do have a limit of how many students can be in the classroom at a time, just to keep it manageable. A lot of the kids who need the intensive support. So in K-5, we're doing 15 per class, and middle school is 17 per class, and they flip-flop to do math and English. And then at the high school, we are doing 20 per class face-to-face, and I'm not sure about the credit recovery classes and those numbers because they take them on the computer, but the actual Agile Mind classes is 20 kids per class.
So we're ordering based off the amount that we can fill up a class?
Yes, off of our maximum amount of students that we expect for summer school.
Okay. So we're not basing it off the numbers from last year and estimating another 50 to participate. I guess I'm asking, and I think I had the follow-up question also. The remaining materials, if I heard correctly, last year you said they're useless. So I don't know if there was any thought put in between that as far as maybe utilizing those additional materials that can't be used anymore into the system, or what is the plan with those?
Yeah.
We used our materials. As far as I know, in mathematics, we did use our materials. We had the numbers for elementary specifically, and the manipulatives and things that we purchased, we used.
So everything we purchased last year for summer school, because I know before I thought it was specifically geared towards the summer school topics and things and couldn't be applied to the regular school year because theirs was different or something.
No, I used, the decisions I make about what's being covered in summer school is based on the work of that grade, which is based on Michigan academic standards, and it can be used throughout the year. It's a review, and so a review of what they've learned, and even though we don't use the same resources necessarily, we do use a lot of the same instructional strategies and tools.
Okay.
And for ELA, we just adapted what they did during the school year. So we just continued what they're already doing. So anything that we had left over, the teachers did use in their room, but they didn't have much. So we just bought extra, like, reading books for kids to have take-home libraries.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good question. Trustee Bowman.
With the Chromebooks, the students, we still have one-to-one Chromebooks with all students, correct?
Not all students.
Or I would say we're middle school, and are we utilizing those through the summer months with
Yes.
like, what was it, Khan Academy? I know that's probably old, but through the summer months, the students can still use their technology to log on and do extra school stuff, or?
Yes, CNI has been meeting with technology, and they will be utilizing those Chromebooks. We are working on we were one-to-one at one time, but in full transparency, we are not fully one-to-one.
And is it because of the graduating seniors, when they went out, they took their technology, or just due to damage and?
Both.
Okay.
Yep, both. We had several damaged Chromebooks, and the cost to replace those, but I am working with technology so that we can wrap around and reintroduce. It's very important that we are able to pivot for any number of reasons to still be able to provide that service to our students. So that is the goal for us to be back online one-to-one district-wide, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Brought me up to my point. If we can make sure that Mr. Holcomb is here at every meeting.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Anybody else had another question over there? And I guess to clarify with Trustee Terry's question, there were conversations I remember around last year when we were paying for material, that it was told to us it was not, we're paying for it, but it's not usable during the regular school year because it's summer school material. Not like it's just for the summer, but it was just, and that was just kind of an odd thought process. And so, thank you for clearing that up for me as well. So, the agile, because the agile mind, we know we continuously use that, not just in the summer, we use it throughout the year, we purchase it, that's kind of one of those purchases that we look at, right? And so what we don't want to do is keep, if we have to do an audit of our curriculum to make sure that every material that we have is what we need, we don't want to keep using other material to satisfy something once it comes to the board or we're saying this is it. Now, something like that requires a enrichment piece to it to really kind of not hide, I don't like using that word, but to help navigate or drill down the instructional piece so the kids know that they're getting what they need, but also getting the enrichment at the same time. That type of purchasing material is new on the market, and you're going to have to take your chances on which one you get to make sure that it's proper to the students that you deliver. We understand that. We're talking about the core curriculum things that you are asking for or have asked for, because once we start having this conversation in finance, or you have these conversations in grants will say one thing and saying that we can only purchase it for X, Y, and Z. When we go back and do our research and I ask on the spot of what can we use it for after I didn't had this type of conversation, then it's like, oh, well, if you write it in a way that it could be used towards student achievement, then it could be spent.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I know if I just asked that question, I know somebody on your team asked that question. So I'm just saying that's what we're getting at that's what we're saying as a board, is like, if it's gonna if it's a credit, or not credit, but an audit of the curriculum that needs to be done, let's do it. Whatever we need to do to make sure that you got the tools in your hand to teach the kids that we have, then we want that to be, that's where we're trying to drive the finances to, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, the second part of that was the 20 kids per classroom. We know this is just an estimation. So if we do not get the certain number that we are looking for, are we prepared to, is there an ideal to get with other entities where kids go to these after-school programs or where they're at, to bring them along to teach what you're teaching, or to show, be able to use those materials then, or are you going to put them into the regular day-to-day of?
We will put those into the regular day-to-day, and then we would also look at extending that when several of our schools have the Saturday academies. We could use those there as well.
Okay. Okay, that's great. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, need a motion on the floor to approve the approval of summer school material services.
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
And Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to move down to notice of public hearing report. Dr. Leverett, the meeting is yours. Notice of public hearing.
Thank you, President. At this time, I will turn it over to Pete.
Okay, so the notice of public hearing, this is also has the tax rate request form L4029 attached for millage for 2024. So the process calls for the Board of Education has responsibility for reviewing the budget presented, holding a public hearing, modifying it as necessary, and approving it for implementation prior to the beginning of the fiscal year, which is July 1st of 2024. So that basically the district has until June 30th of 2024 to adopt the 24-25 general fund budget. The notice of public hearing will be posted as such that please take notice that on June 17th, 2024, the board will hold a public hearing to consider the district's proposed 24-25 budget. The board may not adopt its proposed budget until after the public hearing. Beginning June 17th, a copy of the proposed budget, including the proposed property tax millage rate, will be available for public inspection as well as on the district's website. The property tax millage rate proposed to be levied to support the budget will be a subject of this hearing. This notice is given by order of the board. So again, this L429 is an annual form indicating what we're going to ask the cities and municipalities to collect. The rates are the same, no change compared to last year, no millage reduction fraction, so that's good. So that's basically what the recommendation is to approve the form and set the notice of public hearing.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the board? We didn't have it as an action item, so are you asking us to physically approve this at this point? It was just for discussion.
Just, yeah, the form is the one that needs to be signed off, so I can send it to the municipalities.
Okay, so we do need an action behind that. Okay, so we'll make, I need to amend the agenda. If you want to make the motion, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add the action for public hearing.
Public hearing notice.
Can't hear you.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda for action item for a public hearing for the budget.
Need a support. Okay, motion moved.
What?
By Kenyatta Bowman and supported by Trustee Troy Kraft.
Yes, indeed.
Questions, comments, concerns to amend the agenda to add the notice to public hearing as an action item? Hearing none, roll call.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
And President Garrett.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Okay. We now have an action item. Need a motion on the floor to approve the amended agenda as amended.
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns to approval of the amended agenda to add the action item that was approved to be added? Hearing none, roll call.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
President Garrett.
Yes.
And VP Gross.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Need a motion on the floor. We're going down to action item under notice of public hearing. Action item. Need a motion to approve that action item.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith.
Yes.
President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
And I'm voting yes.
All right, thank you. We're going to move down to general counsel and human resource items. And so I left this as, I didn't amend this, so I left this as, Ms. Kellum, discussion and action. I want to apologize. I had it mixed up to what we wanted to do. Is some things that's up under here that we probably going to table because there's questions about that particular contract. But you were correct in bringing it to both here for discussion item because they should have read it over the weekend and had that conversation. I have, but there is some unreadiness as it relates to a couple of them. And so I don't think that's, so as we get into the questions, maybe that'll come out and kind of, but I wanted to publicly say, I apologize for that memo. Okay, if we move down to discussion item, industry-specific staffing contract, Dr. Leverett and Ms. Kellum is the presenter. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Discussion item for Oakland Schools, fiscal year 2024, 2025 proposed budget. Now, that's just a discussion,
Well,
correct?
they do need to approve it.
Oh, listen, no. What's the last day to approve it on? July 30th?
June 1st, needs to be approved by June 1st, this budget.
Okay. What's the day?
Board retreat?
Yeah, we'll bring it back for action item at the board retreat.
Okay.
We can discuss it today. Okay. He took me through all them amendments and hoops and, okay. All right, but go ahead for discussion. We're still up for discussion, we just want to prove it into them.
So per this is the Oakland Schools proposed budget for 24-25. Per Michigan School Code, the Oakland Schools budget must be presented to Oakland County's 28 school districts by May 1st of each year. The applicable language, not later than June 1st of each year, the board of each constituent district shall review the proposed intermediate school budget, adopt a board resolution expressing its support or disapproval of the budget, and shall submit to the intermediate school district board any specific objections or proposed changes the board has to the budget. If an intermediate school board receives any specific objections or proposed changes, the intermediate school board shall consider the proposed budget changes. So it is a recommendation of administration to approve the resolution of support for the Oakland Schools 24-25 proposed budget.
Okay, questions, comments, and concerns from the board?
One.
Go ahead, sir.
Is this annual?
Yes.
So we did this last year? We did?
You had to by June 1st.
I must have ignored this one.
Typically, well, I'm not gonna say typically we ignore it. However,
Thanks.
Typically they have our best interests at heart until I saw this budget, so.
And then last question. So this is the Oakland Schools.
It's Oakland Schools.
Yeah.
Oakland
Not our
Schools.
budget, yeah.
Right. It's
not our budget.
It's not our budget.
But
I would ask you for more money.
No, my
It's not our
question
budget.
within that, because they are current leasers of the OTEC building, leasers of the OTEC building?
The Pontiac one,
The Pontiac one.
that we own.
And a part of the high school.
So is that in their budget? Do you remember? And the reason I asked is because the questions were whether or not, I remember they came to us some odd years ago, and we gave them a 25-year lease for $1 a year.
Yeah, that was 25 years ago.
25 years ago. And so that lease is up, and I'm wondering, because I don't recall this board approving another lease.
No, we didn't.
And if that's in part of their budget, is the assumption that they felt we were going to approve it? I don't know, so I'm asking.
Yeah, it's not specifically spelled out. I mean, they've got their, plenty of millions of dollars in there, but we'd have to dig deeper to see.
I'm just concerned because that's one of the, because that would be a nice building to specifically have our CTE and NAF program specifically in a building of their own. I'm just suggesting as one board member. I don't know. I'm just, so I'm just asking.
Yep, we can
Okay.
dig deeper and see.
Because, okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm good.
Okay. Perfect question. Thank you. We will dig deeper. That's why we're going to save this to June 1st. We're just discussing at this point. But I do need to take some things back. So one, legally, let's find out where we're at with that particular item as far as that building and leasing that building. And let's find out where we're at with that. And some of these are, the ISD is asking for our approval because I know some of our funding some funding we have goes towards ISD because they're a vendor for us, but then some is actually mediated from the state and federal government to through they're allowed to, not delegate it, but it's a pass-through to us. And I guess I just want to make that perfectly clear out loud that the ISD works for us. We don't work for the ISD. And I've had conversations over and over and over again with folks and individuals in this district where they feel Like, oh, the ISD said, okay, well, what did you say? Because you work at Pontiac School District. You don't work for the ISD. And all the meetings that we take out, and all the meetings that we go over there, and all the meetings that we happen and just kind of, I don't mind playing in the same sandbox. But clearly, it's a misrepresentation of what we think happens. Just because the ISD say it doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for the Pontiac School District. So I wanted to publicly put that clear out as an individual trustee. And then also as the board, as we just start discussing some of the financing options that we have, because we can clearly see that everybody's not going to have our best interest at heart when it comes down to what we did, because you don't just pop up and have a 25-year lease for $1.
Exactly.
And then we're starting these CTE programs, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, well, we still own the building, and there's some other things that you're doing, and they don't want you to copycat her. And then there's some agreements in there where it's non-compete type of language in some of these contracts when you sign some of these lease agreements. So we read and we comprehend, but we want to clarify some of that, if that makes sense. So if administration clearly hears where we're coming from, and if you got any questions about it, then please, let's talk about it on Wednesday, Thursday, and going into the board retreat, because I'm looking at some of these salary cabinet incentives for $1.2 million for their cabinet incentives. I can use my own money for my own incentives, for my own cabinet. That's just me. So there's some other numbers in here we want to go through. There's some technology support services. That's about $700,000 in here, but we pay them for technical support. So I'm included in that $700,000, and I want to know how much of we are that's included in the $700,000 that they got to ask us to approve. So you don't go to your employee and ask for approval. You go to your boss and ask for approval. So you're asking for my approval. That means you work for me. Just say clear. So we just kind of put that out there. Yeah. Okay. Any other comments from the board? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
700,000. Okay. I'm going to learn one day. We're going to move down to discussion of item industry-specific staffing contract renewal. Ms. Kellum, back to you. Dr. Leverett.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Kellum. Ms. Kellum.
Good evening. This is a contract for discussion and action, contract renewal for industry-specific staffing solutions. The background rationale reads, sub-teacher source formerly doing business as industry-specific staffing, which is now considered industry-specific staffing solutions, is a staffing company that is able to provide qualified staff to backfill long-term vacant teaching positions throughout the school buildings, which we are unable to fill with permanent employees. We will utilize them to fill vacancies to ensure positions that cannot be filled by EduStaff will be filled on a long-term basis. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education discuss the approval of professional service contract renewal with industry-specific staffing solutions in the Pontiac School District effective July 1, 2024 through June 30, 2025 in an amount not to exceed $1 million with no price changes for the upcoming school year. I am also asking for action on this contract.
All right, thank you. Questions from the board? Go ahead, madam. I'm sorry, go ahead.
How effective have they been?
So the evaluations are behind the contract, but all of the, no one is ineffective. Everybody has been either effective or highly effective.
No, I'm saying with this company providing us with
So
substitutes.
for this company, we only have 5 long-term subs. The other one I'm going to be bringing forth in a couple minutes is where we have the most of our subs. But this company, we only have 5, but we need those 5.
Okay.
So, Trustee Terry.
I know we're doing a renewal. I understand the need. I guess at this point, I want to understand what is our goal to get away from this.
Our goal is to hire.
What is, I mean, what, do we have a plan in place? What, do we have a yearly plan to maybe reduce these numbers? Or I would like to see something where we can basically eliminate this altogether.
We'll never be able to eliminate a staffing company that's throughout the entire state and the country. We will never be able to eliminate a substitute teaching company. Our goal is to have all of the positions filled. With the other contracts that you'll see, it'll be the same thing. For our special education staffing, we have over 28 vacancies that we have not been able to fill in almost 3 years. So we have to rely on these staffing companies to help us to be in compliance, as well as to have the staff in front of the students. If we don't, we won't have anybody to service the students. So the goal is always to fill with permanent positions, and all of these positions are still on our consortium. They're still on the website. We update those job descriptions every 60 days so that the dates are accurate, so they can go up to the top, so candidates can possibly see that there's still openings there. And that's part of the agreement we have with the unions. We have to continue to actively recruit and look for people to hire in these positions. But until we do that, we have to fill it with an adult and with a live body.
And you said this specific one is how many?
5.
5?
Yes.
Go ahead and ask it, because I'm going to ask it. I'm going to ask it. I'm going to ask it. So, I mean, go ahead. You're the treasurer. I'm just giving you the opportunity first.
I'm going to let you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Please.
I'm going to let you.
Please, because this really ain't got nothing to do with, this is overall. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Trustee Dr. Hammond.
Yeah. So this particular one, they can identify, their qualifications aren't necessarily specific. I see in some of the other ones where it's healthcare, or those are more concentrated. But
Correct.
this particular staffing company could identify anyone.
So yes, these are for long-term teaching positions, and so for long-term subs, the state only requires you to have 60 credit hours, and that can be in any area. You can get 60 credits and go to school for anything. That's just a state requirement because of the teacher shortage.
Okay.
Still on you.
I'm okay.
Oh, you don't want to ask either? Yeah, I'm going to ask. I ain't ask.
I'm trying to understand.
Go ahead, sir.
I know we've been giving incentives, and we've even provided some educational incentives for our substitutes to become fully staffed teachers.
Yes.
Have you been seeing that process working to remove themselves out of a long-term so-called sub? Because you only get paid a specific amount of money as a sub without benefits, correct?
Correct.
And so I know we've offered an educational incentive to go to a specific school to get the degree and become a certified teacher. Now, I am aware, and I'm not naive, no one wants to be a teacher right now because COVID really hit us hard. That touched because people are afraid. But the shootings in the school as well, and I've been getting notifications that people are leaving teaching because of the fear. And so...
You need to talk to your mic.
Okay. And I just want to make sure, and I know it's difficult to get teachers, right? But how is that incentive working? And I know we've set aside ESSER dollars in the past to give teachers incentives to come into the district. Where are we and how is that looking as far as, one, getting our subs become certified, and 2, how is the incentives working? Plus 2, we're in a cold state and people don't want to work in Michigan.
So to answer your first question, we still have the Grow Your Own program, which we receive $895,000 for that. We have, we got that in 2023, I believe, and we have until 2026 to use those funds. We received 30 employees, and we had 5 dropouts so far. But we do have 25 employees that are either have worked in other capacities in the district, a paraprofessional,
teacher's assistant, long-term sub, and they're in the program now. Once they complete that program, we have them sign contracts that they have to remain in the district an additional 2 years beyond the time that they finish the degree. So they can't just get a degree from us for free and leave and go and use it in another school district. So they will have to work with us for 2 years beyond that, but they won't, some of those individuals won't have their degrees until 2026.
So potentially there's 25 that will be able to do it.
Yes.
5 dropped out.
Yes.
Those who dropped out, are they still working in district?
They still are
subs?
employed, yes.
Okay.
And your second question, I'm sorry, what was your second question?
I know it's difficult to get teachers to come here to work, and I know we've been given incentives. Are we looking at hiring new teachers, or do we have potential teachers in place to be hired?
We're interviewing every day, all day. So yes, we have teachers let me say this, last school year, we hired at the beginning of the school year, 26 new teachers.
New teachers?
Brand new teachers
I like
that we
that.
hired.
Okay.
For the school year, and we still have retained all of those teachers.
That's my next question.
But we still had an excess of vacancies for core content, we had 25 vacancies in addition to the 25 that we hired. So we had almost 50 vacancies at the start of school year, and we were able to hire 26 out of the 50. But that's why we need these sub-companies to try to backfill those areas.
Yes.
But the incentives, that we're still giving the incentives, the $2,500 signing bonus, and if you're relocating from another state, $2,500 to relocate to another state. And we normally get about 20 signing bonuses a year, and we use all of those, and I have to go back and ask for more. So last school year, I used about 50 signing bonuses.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Bowman, then trustee.
You pretty much answered my question about the signing bonus, but I know you had mentioned that's coming out of another state. What if they're not coming from another, what did the signing bonus?
They just received $2,500.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, trustee Hannah.
Another question. What's the difference between the industry-specific staffing solutions and EduStaff?
It's not a difference, it's just the two different staffing companies. EduStaff is just a larger company. They saturate the entire state. Industry-specific staffing is a smaller staffing company that was a referral from previous administration.
Okay. And my other question is the amount that we're asking not to exceed, is that the same amount that as the initial contract was last year?
This amount is the same amount that has been that's just the amount that I've been allotted. We never go over that amount, but that's just the amount that I was requested to put on the bear in case, so that we don't go over. We never have with this company because there's only 5 of them.
Okay.
So we actually condensed this number actually.
Okay. So if you know off the top of your head with EduStaff, have we been more successful with recruits from EduStaff as we have been with this particular one?
When you say recruits, are you mean hiring permanent employees?
Yeah.
No. Most of those people that work for EduStaff don't qualify for certified teaching positions, and that's why they're working through a staffing agency, because they don't have the teaching certification.
Okay.
And so some of those individuals, of the 25 I was talking about, that are in the Grow Your Own program are working through EduStaff, but the state has allowed us to put them in a program and allow them to get their teaching certification, and then once they receive the teaching certification, they can remain in the school district for additional 2 years. And once they receive that certification, then they will leave EduStaff and become permanent employees of the district.
Okay.
Last question.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes, have you considered the bird dog, the promotion? I mean, when you have someone that actually recruits a teacher for you, to find one for you, whatever recommendation? I know we used to do that.
We have a recruiting, $300 recruiting that we do now. If you refer, and that's not just for teachers though, that's for any vacancy that we have. If you refer somebody to the district, you receive a $300 referral bonus, but the employee has to remain employed for 6 months. So it's not just for us to recruit teachers, that's for any vacancy that we have.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
I ain't call on you.
I'm well, right. Thank you, Chief.
Trustee Gross.
Since Dr. Hannah opened up the door, I was waiting till we got to EduStaff, but
You opened up the door.
he did. I know as it pertains to substitute teachers, we have a process here in the district that we hire our own substitutes, right?
Correct.
With the industry specific and edu staff, are we eliminating that process?
No, the process is the same. So for when we hire our building substitute teachers, they have to go through modules like bloodborne pathogens. Is that what you're asking me?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the question. I was okay. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to frame it without, okay, with these specific institutions, much different than the district, we have the ability to hire if someone has a felony and it goes before the board. With these two entities, if you have a felony on your record, they will not hire you.
That's correct.
So my question again is, these aren't the only two entities that we're using to hire substitutes.
These are the only two entities we're hiring for long-term teaching substitutes.
There's a difference. I didn't know that. There's a difference. Because there are specific contractual agencies that we utilize that employees come before this board if they have felonies and we approve. But if they specifically came from these groups here, it won't be presented to the board because they're going to deny them because that's their agency.
Correct.
Right. But we're still, okay, good. You just answered my question. Good. All right. Well, all right. Good. Thank you. We discussed that in our meeting. I want to make sure we were, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, y'all done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, we good? Okay. So, contract renewal, industry-specific staffing solutions was a recommendation, and now I had to dig a little more deeper about the recommendation. I kind of understand why they only get 5 people. Now, we don't have to always go by, let's just, because this is kind of like the first swing of renewal, right? Since this, in this interim space, right? Like, in this space where we're doing things different, where we recognize things to be done different, you know what I'm saying? This is like starting off in a new space, right? So you may have been here, what, are you going to 8th year, 10th year? Okay, so we drew the line in the sand, things are totally different. This is the first group of contracts that's kind of really coming to us for renewal. And so, $200,000 a body. So when I look at this contract, 5 bodies, $200,000, right? That I'm paying this particular agency. Have they been able to go over 10 people of recruitment?
For this particular
For
staffing?
this one?
No.
Okay, we just want to stay right here.
No.
This is their 3rd year?
Yes.
This is their 3rd year. Have they ever went over 10?
No.
Okay. Now, with that being said, I find it very difficult to use them again because they're not effective in what they say that they are effective in doing. Now, when the contracts come to us, the bears, and let's just keep in mind this for future reference, we're done with the up to amount.
Okay.
Because what happens with the up to amount, and I'm going to ask the board to back me on this one, is that not that we've ever seen it happen in this current state that we in, but we've seen it happen where is that they just keep going up too.
Understood.
And the only thing that we ever know about the contract is once it's all final paid out, and then it comes to business goes says, hey, this is actual, it's attached into whatever other revenue versus expenses that we have, and it gets lost in the sauce. Then it comes back to us and say, in this specific way. And so, I can't approve a contract for $1 million for 5 people, and on average in 3 years, you can't even get to 10 people to work for you. That's a problem. Not saying that's your fault. I'm not saying that. These are things that's cookie cutter to bring us to keep us up to date and in good standings. But we're no longer in that pattern where if we have somebody doing a job We don't want to continue, at least I don't want to continue in bringing somebody else to do the same job. EduStaff is used throughout the state of Michigan because legislatively they do a lot of lobbying in a lot of districts and legislatively on behalf of teachers. Make no mistake about it, right? We understand the political arm that this comes from. But industry-specific staffing came out of a recommendation, and I'm just going to say it, friends and family plan. And so I can feel it coming this way. I'll leave it alone. I can feel it. I feel it. I feel it. See, I'm learning. This is on-the-job training at home, right? You got to learn to, curve what you're going to say. I said enough. So I don't want you to feel like it's not about feelings and emotions. It's just, it is what it is. And so I want to us to, in this, as we're going through contract renewals, have what you need, like know the number of what we need, because the if we just put $1 million over here, that's $1 million that we putting out the budget, and it can only be, to be honest with you, I don't even think this is $100,000. Maybe, how much is it the final cost?
So what I can do is at the board's pleasure is table all of the contracts and then get the actual numbers of how much we spent on the contracts for last year, and then put that number on here. I can get that information from finance, get the actual numbers of how much we encumbered from last school year, and estimate that and put that on here instead of not to exceed. I believe that amount was just put on here in case we ended up hiring more, which we never have.
Yeah, and it no control, no, unbeknownst to you, you didn't have control of that area, right? Like, this is the first time we really kind of aligning HR and finance and then HR and kind of moving simultaneously through spaces. So I would like to put a motion on the floor to table A, B, C, and D.
Support.
Moved by Trustee Garrett, supported by Trustee Bowman. Questions, comments, or concerns to the table? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Bowman?
Yes.
Trustee Kraft?
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith?
Yes.
President Garrett?
Yes.
VP Gross?
Yes.
I'm voting yes, and Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Okay, awesome. And since we're in this vein, if we can have a conversation, just a small conversation around if there are some things that we can do as far as what we can do in-house, if we're hiring people.
And the cost differences.
If we're hiring folks, if we have to hire our own substitutes, like, I prefer to kind of help. We got to grow our own program, but then also lean a little bit, put a little bit more emphasis in that area.
I agree, and that's always something I've asked of. My question would be, am I allowed to bring these contracts back next meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
because these have some timelines
Okay.
attached to them. So,
Yes.
but to have that particular question, I'm not afraid to talk about it. Like, we got returning home citizens that have done some things, and that's if it meets the criteria and what we're asking for them to do, then we're asking to put people in front of our students that have some experiences. And again, it's we kind of shy away from this conversation when we start talking about the have and the have-nots. And we all have not, right? Like, some way, somehow in our lives, we all have had not. And so I don't want to be the gatekeeper of who can work in this district and who can't work in this district when I'm told by the citizens in this particular community that we want to give people second chances and opportunities to do so, who have been willing to make themselves known to want that to happen. You can't lie on an application, then turn around and say, hey, can you help me? We're talking about folks who have done things 30, 40 years ago and finally got some things in line, expungements, been found out they've been wrongly convicted. Like, there's some things that's going on that we ought to be able to give people some opportunity, not just to make a life for themselves, but to make a difference for others. And so that's I think that's what we were going for. So I appreciate the trustees for asking the not so hard questions, but actually getting to the point of where we wanted to be in that conversation. So if we're going to move down, I think you still have the floor with the MOU from the PEA Association.
I'll defer to Attorney Seegers.
Okay.
Yes, good evening. All right, we have a memorandum of understanding between the Pontiac Education Association, the Teachers Union, and the district regarding the calendar. Take this off so I don't sound so muffled. For 24-25 school year. The district had discussions with the PEA for several sessions over the past 3 months regarding the calendar for next year. The last meeting we had was last week with HR and the Student Services and the Curriculum and Instruction Department in attendance. We came up with a calendar that is attached, and the board should know that the first day of school this year will be September 3rd, 2024, the day after Labor Day. The calendar is part of the attached memorandum of understanding. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approve the MOU between the Pontiac Education Association and the district regarding the draft 24-25 calendar, which is attached to your MOU. One of the things I know that the board wanted, and Dr. Leverett made sure that she impressed this up on our team, was that they wanted to make sure the October 4th, Friday before homecoming, I think this was after some discussions with the homecoming committee where some board members were present, that Friday be a half day, and we were able to get that done. So, and we got that done at the last minute, but it's done, and everybody's happy. And so you guys got a calendar. And Dr. Leverett can stop saying, Attorney Seegers, you got our calendar yet?
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board?
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Seeger.
You're welcome.
Any questions from the board? Okay. I do have, can we let that be an example, though? Like, when we're discussing the calendar, like, can we, the board would like a little bit more input as it relates to what's going in particular into the calendar, in a sense, because if we're negotiating about time, because there's certain things that we see that's in, like, I don't know if professional development has already been identified or what the professional development is, but there's certain things that if we're changing how we're delivering instruction, and we're bringing and implementing things in a very intentional way, then there's certain things that need to be taught over time. And when I look at the calendar, which I often compare to last year's, and everybody is not really negotiating. I'm trying to use my words very carefully here, where that this is going to be, has this actually calendar been ratified by their membership first?
Attorney
Mr. Seegers, have they signed off on this first?
Yes.
Okay.
They have signed off on it.
They have signed off on it. And so I won't shake the hive this year. But I am going to be very strategic how we move our strategic action plan around this calendar.
So what I think Attorney Seegers probably needs to also mention is this calendar is, and I hear what you're saying,
Okay.
but it's based upon a common calendar as well for Oakland County, for the other school districts as well.
No, I understand that, and that's kind of one of the problems I have.
Okay.
Because we ain't common. That's probably
Okay.
I'm not Bloomfield, I'm not Auburn Hills, I'm not Waterford, I'm not anything. When I look at this administration, I don't judge this administration based upon other districts, right? Like they don't do what you do. And so there's specific things that, again, has not been always said in these spaces for you to understand publicly that we're supporting you to be the best that you can be. But you can only do that once we agree to certain things that we necessarily look at and be like, that don't really kind of work for us on that day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so in this 6.5 hour educational obligation we have to teach the students per contract. See, these are the things that's different than a charter school versus public school. Why people be out there screaming, that we all equal, because we're not. We have to negotiate, and I believe in good negotiation. However, there are some specific things that when we're going into this workforce development space and CTE and wanting to be great, I don't want to have to charter a charter school from a public school to be able to do something if we just all say, hey, this is the direction that we're going in. So, I suggest y'all read Public Act 451, then it won't be strange to the things that I say. Because we're going to educate our kids the way we need to educate our kids. And I ain't asking for nobody's permission to do that. So, I'll agree to this. Calendar. So, okay, thank you. We're going to move down to action item, approval of MOU with Pontiac Education Association, PEA, regarding school year 24-25 calendar. Need a motion on the floor, please.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Gross. Questions, comments, or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Kraft.
Yes.
Trustee Davis Smith. Yes. President Garrett.
Yes.
VP Gross.
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry.
Yes.
And Trustee Bowman.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
All right, thank you. Going to move down to communications, petitions, and delegations.
Have none at this time, Mr. President.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Point of order,
Go ahead.
Did you guys add the thing to the?
We didn't. You were negotiating hard outside.
I was. Yes.
Yeah, we tabled that. We'll take care of that. We're going to move down to board comments and announcements. Trustee Kraft.
I just knew it was me. I'm sure. Okay. I really don't have much to say, but I was visiting the schools today like I always do. Went up to Harrington and hung out there for a while. And I also went over to the middle school and like I always, I'm always doing, walking through the halls. And I like to give the teacher, I don't know which teacher it was, but kudos again. I'm walking through the halls and she said, sir, I see you have a badge on, but I still need to know who you are. And I came and I approached her and I showed my badge and showed her who I was and stuff, but I had to commend her and say, great job, because we need that. We need that. I don't care what it is. And I passed the officers, they knew who I was, but this one particular teacher didn't know who I was and she ran me down. Who are you? You know what I mean? So that's what we need there to protect our little precious commodities that we have there. And I'm going to be brief, and that's it.
Shame on you, Trustee Gross. Trustee Bowman, how you doing? Thank you, Trustee Kraft. I appreciate you.
Great. This was a fantastic meeting. Thanks. Good night.
Thank you. Okay, Trustee Davis Smith.
Trustee Bowman said it all.
Okay. All right. Trustee Terry.
I'm in agreement. It was a good meeting. I just have one announcement. Accent Pontiac is doing a little annual fundraiser. It's called Birdies and Beats for those that like to golf. The charity golf outing and family fun day will be Friday, June 28th, 2024. And I can share that information. And
where's the golf course? I mean,
it will be out at the links at Crystal Lake. You can do it from 8:30 to 1:30 p.m. So I can get that information and have that shared with the district.
I would appreciate that. They are a great partner for us.
Other than that, thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you. Trustee Secretary Dr. Hannah, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
That's a lot of titles.
That's the title right there, sis. That's the title.
I just want to say congratulations again.
I feel like we all got that doctor's degree. You see it together.
It was a team effort. But again, congratulations to our state champions for our robotics team. Really appreciate the hard work and the dedication that they put into that. Also, great job to our music department. As I stated, the concert was really, really nice.
You were there?
I was there.
I didn't see you.
Yeah, I was there.
All right.
Especially after we had ITA here with their jazz group that was here. We really do have some talented kids, and it was really good to see so many kids a part of the music department. So great job to that staff, and congratulations to our class of 2024. I'm looking forward to celebrating with them on Thursday.
Trustee Gross.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
That was great to see you. Thanks, Doc. And yes, that was an excellent time, and during that time, I was sending pictures to the president as each group went up. We had middle school, the ITA, and the high school, and all of them performed. And I really loved that auditorium.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Doc, it was great. That's a great setting for a concert. And we have, hear what I'm saying? I'm throwing some subliminal messages out there to you. We have a professional jazz band in our students here. And if we can get them to listen, I stood up and was dancing and my wife grabbed me and said, sit down, because they were jamming. And we have a professional jazz band here in Pontiac. We had well over 100 and something students combined with all of the students that's playing. Now remember, we didn't have any music about 3 years ago. And here we are. So I can't wait for marching band at games. We're leading up to that. And then I got a wonderful, I wish you'd have told us because we would have announced you too. I got a wonderful email from the band director thanking me for being there, but I wish I knew you were there. I also had the opportunity on the 14th to attend the city council meeting where one of our students, Adam Polk Jr., was recognized, and I'm welcoming to the family, so I was asked to come in and speak on his behalf, but also representing us as a district. And let me tell you something, to see him and his brother there and his family, it was just exciting. And I'm thankful that outside of this district too, our children are being recognized because they are great. And my hopes are too that we'll be able to go to the city council meeting and see this robotic team also be recognized because we're doing it here in this district. I'm having a good time. I'm looking forward to graduation, OCC. It's going to be fun. We'll be there. Yes. OU. I'm talking about OCC. OU. I'm sorry. OU.
He ain't getting no more candy.
No. And I am looking forward to it. And what a great meeting tonight. Whenever we're able to expose our children on what they do, not only in the classroom, but when they leave us out of this district and how they perform. They not only perform well by winning the championship, but let me tell you, their behavior and attitudes, true reflection on what we expect of our children to do when they leave here. And they did very well, in-state as well as out-of-state. And I think that's as important too, not just winning it, but the behavior of our children when they leave. And so I'm so proud of them and what we're doing. So listen, let's keep this thing going. We got a few more weeks left in school. I think we're done on the 13th, right, Doc? 13th, I think that's on my calendar. So let's keep this ball rolling and let's continue to enjoy and have fun. And I appreciate you all. Good night.
All right, thank you. Again, congratulations to the Mighty Phoenix. That robotics team is something special. I mean, it's just great to see those kids growing up through that particular program. Also, great meeting tonight. Having these discussions are very important. Having a conversation of what's best for our district is very important. And also listening to people who don't necessarily have our best interests at heart. I'm really starting to really have conversations with people who just see things totally different than I see it. Because it kind of helps me to confirm what I already know, but then the other half of that, though, is it kind of helps me to get a better understanding of why that person may feel that way. And we may never agree, and I'm okay with that. But I'm learning to really adjust and be open to knowing as much as I can so I can so I can make the decision that I make could be impactful, right? We have a long road, but it's the road we chose. We have a uphill battle, but it's the battle that we chose. So let's not ever forget we choose what we do every single day. We choose this. And we are professionals. And in that, there's a certain expectation for you to live to that. We don't make cars, we make people. And so I am in the people-making business.
Amen.
So I'm grateful for the opportunity each and every day to do what I love to do. And I'm okay with that. And so if we can just stay focused on the task at hand and not get distracted. And when we do get distracted, don't get emotional about it. And if you do get emotional about it, take time to think about it. Because at the end of the day, we are who we are, and nobody's coming to save us but us. And so thank you, administration, again, for just the work that you do on an everyday basis and the things that, as we're navigating through these uncharted territories, because I don't think we ever as a district have been here as a whole, to be able to have the amount of experience and then also the amount of success that we're capable of having is new for me. And I've never seen it like this. And so that's why I want to hear from you, and I don't want to hear from other people. And it's not just because we pay you, it's because you lend us your services. And so we're going to have some difficult conversations, and that's what we're supposed to do because we choose it every day. So with that being said, I need a motion on the floor to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Bowman, supported by Trustee Davis Smith. Questions, comments, or concerns? And before we leave, I ain't gonna do that. Roll call.
Trustee Davis Smith? Yes. President Garrett?
Yes.
VP Gross?
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Treasurer Terry?
Yes.
Trustee Bowman?
Yes.
And Trustee Kraft? 7-0.
All right, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Continue to leave the comments. We do see those. And then also, if you find us to be a benefit to a student in your particular community, because we know you follow us all over, please continue to share the information. We're going to bring you more information online. Please share, like, and subscribe to all our social media pages, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Continue to follow us. Use the QR code to stay in touch. We will change that website eventually. Thank you so much. So thank you so much again. Please continue to rock with us because great things happen here and Phoenix Nation is alive and well.
Where's your paper?